us all to feel that we could go out and take on the world. And so her story is a great story. So I'm just inspired by people who have those big dreams and go after them.
And that leads me to the second question, which is sort of a follow-up to that. What, in your view, are some of the greatest challenges that most Latinas face today?
Well, we talked about one of them already, and that's the whole, where family, as much as it's an asset in our community to be very family-oriented and close to our family, sometimes that strength can become a weakness if we feel that we can't branch out and we can't go against the grain and we can't move away and leave the family. So, and particularly as women, I think we're even more, maybe tied.
To that,
yes. And then I think, sometimes we're humble to a point, and that's a strength, but that can also become a weakness. Sometimes we're willing to take the back seat and fade in and not be the one at the table, or not be willing to share our points of view, or not have the confidence to, assert ourselves. So I think I hope that the next generation of young Latinas can kind of pick up where we left off and really assert themselves and share their point of view and let their voice be heard, so that we can start to really have more of a seat at the table.
I think that you hit the nail on the head. So we would like for you to share one of your favorite mommy moments with us. You sort of talked a little bit about it with your daughter, which was beautiful, either with your own children or with your own mother, or both.
Well, I have lots of great mommy moments, both with my mom and with my daughter. When my daughter went off to college, it's funny. She went to Berkeley, and we were living in the Bay Area at the time. So it was funny. Here I was preparing her to go away to school, and she chooses a school fairly close to us. But she wrote me a letter about the impact that I had on her, and how she was going to really strive to make me proud. And I mean, that just, I know, it makes me start to cry. Just to me, it's just those little moments where, because when you're raising your children, I used to tell my sister, who has two girls, how do you know if what you're doing is right? How do you don't really know until one day they go off to college and you pray and hope you did all the right things, right? There's no measuring stick. There's no way to really know. And sure, you can sort of test, am I getting through? Is my message getting through? Did I instill the values in her that I hoped I did? But you really don't know until they grow up. And so getting that letter for me was just a powerful moment of, wow, I guess I did okay.
Right. Oh my God, I'm getting teary-eyed just listening to you. As a mother with a 4-year-old, I'm looking ahead, I'm thinking, I hope I get that kind of letter. So kudos to you. That's wonderful. So talking about the challenges of working moms specifically, clearly you have done it very well. What would some of the key pieces of advice be if you were talking to other young working mothers?
I think number one is having a very strong support system. And because my daughter's safety was always number one. When she was little, I went back to work after about 6 weeks. I was home about 6 weeks, and the first day back, I had to get on an airplane and travel. And I remember sitting there just crying. I'm just going to cry the whole way. But we had arranged a babysitter, and my husband was going to drop her off, and my mom was going to pick her up. And you just have to let go of the control and say, I'm going to have a really good support system. I'm going to have people I can rely on, people I can count on, who are going to be there for her, so that she's going to be safe and she's going to be loved, whether I'm there or not. For me, that was number one. Had I not had that support system, I could not have gone back to work, nor would I, if I could not really know that she was
feel it.
right, that she was going to be okay. So that's number one. And then you have to sort of pick your priorities. What's really important, because when you're working and you have a career and you have a husband and you have a child and there's a lot going on, at different stages of her life, I had to just be real clear in my mind what was important. Because you have to give up some things, right? And you just can't have it all. So maybe the house isn't going to be perfectly spotless all the time. Or you know, maybe, she's going to have to spend the night at my mom's if I have a late night travel, or whatever it has to be. But if the things that are really important to you, if you're holding those dear, and you're not, you know what things you're not willing to compromise, then that really helps. But it really, for me, it was a team effort. It was my mom, it was my husband, it was his mom, and our babysitter, and everybody had to work together in order for it all to work. And we were all focused on one thing, and that was on her.
Yeah.
And so I think if you can assemble the right team, you can make it work.
That's a good point. I have a saying as a working mother myself: you can have it all, just not all at the same time.
Exactly.
And that goes to picking your priorities.
And when I went back to work, I told you the story of getting on the airplane and crying the whole way, and you start to feel that guilt, because I think as mothers, it never goes away. Right. Really. And I remember calling my sister, because her girls are a little older, and I called her and I was really torn. Am I doing the right thing? Going back to work, I'm feeling all this guilt. And she said the greatest thing to me that kind of freed me, and she said, if you work, you can give your daughter a lot, and if you don't work, you can give your daughter a lot. And so it's not that one is right and one is wrong. And it was amazing how all of a sudden it was
freeing.
It was freeing, because I just have to make this work, and I can do a lot for her.
And importantly, it's your choice.
Right.
Importantly, it's your choice.
Right.
I like that. I'll have to remember that saying. So, in general, what advice would you have for young Latinas who are looking to make it in the workforce?
So, number one is competence. So you have to know your stuff. You have to, and that may mean, training or education, but whatever field you're looking to go into, really be competent. Because the competition is going to be competent, and the people who are going to vie for the same roles that you want are going to know their stuff. So really, really be competent, and never stop learning, never stop growing. Don't ever feel that, okay, now I know this space well, because it'll change on you. So staying relevant, staying in that mode of continuous learning. And then I would say, be bold. Go for it. Because I think if I could do something different in my career, I think I would have been bolder. Only because, you don't realize how much power you have. And either to share your ideas, or to make a connection with someone, or to, go to that next job, whatever it is. But don't hold back. Let all of the things that you're bringing to the table come forward. Let people see that in you. Don't wait to be tapped on the shoulder. Go for it. Take the initiative. Take charge of your career. So if you're competent and you have those good leadership qualities, and you go for it, you're more likely to get ahead than if you're great at what you do, but you're really not expressing that ambition.
That's fantastic.
Great. Thank you.